Buenos dias. Let's get this show back on the road. Here we are, day 10, I believe. My day off yesterday. Raring to go again today. Didn't miss the walking, but you know, I missed the things I might have said. Missed the, you know, being amongst the pilgrims, I suppose, rather than just watching them go by, which is its own nice thing to see them all doing their own journeys. And there's a couple of people ahead of me. It's 7:30 in the morning. I've got to go right the way around that bay. I'm going to Vigo, quite a big city actually, probably the biggest city since Port, once again, and probably the longest walk of the whole journey actually, of the whole pilgrimage. 26k-ish. I'm going around the coast. There is an alternative route which goes a bit more inland, but once again I'm going to stick to the coast. It's easier actually, hopefully. I know the girls, Norma and Victoria, did it yesterday and reported back that it was okay to do, easy to do, so that's my plan. So that was one reason why having the rest day the day before the longer walk. I mean, there's been several around the same, but this just happens to be the longest. But also yesterday was right bang in the middle, as I said before, just got over halfway. So that seemed like the appropriate time to do it. What I wanted to talk about today, because I had a conversation with Julie on the phone last night, actually. And she was saying about watching the videos. And I know lots of people have been watching the videos I've been making, enjoying them. And Alice, who we met actually when we did a trip to Botswana and Namibia, as Facebook friends now, she's been watching them with a gin and tonic after she's got home from work. Well, it's nice to be someone's entertainment, and I know people do enjoy watching these. But the reason I'm doing them is not for you at all. It's actually for me. Although I do go off and start, you know, telling a bit background information, because I know that some people are interested in what I'm doing, what it's all about, and probably learning something as well as I'm going along, as indeed am I. But for me, this is all about just recording my journey, my experience. A lot of people, when I've seen them, when they do a Camino, or any trip like this, I suppose, they keep a journal. And I've seen people scribbling in journals in cafes and bars and that sort of stuff, and recording their thoughts, especially when it is a pilgrimage and it's a voyage of the mind and voyage of discovery of your body and all that type of thing. You supposedly learn things about yourself. And so people write them down. I find it, strangely enough, easier to talk than to write. I've done a bit of writing in my time, done blogging, done what could be classed as music journalism, I suppose. All untrained, I hasten to add. But I just do these. I've been making videos. I mean, myself and Julie actually used to make little travel videos after we first met. And people enjoyed them. We stopped doing them in the end for various reasons. But I've been making videos like this for nearly 20 years. I got involved with YouTube, which is actually 20 years old this year, I believe. I started, YouTube started up in 2005. I got involved in 2006, vlogging, talking into a camera and talking about whatever via other people. I said I'd done blogging before that, and I quite fancied that idea. I've never found it hard to talk, but talking into a camera, it's a bit like talking into a microphone if you're doing a radio thing, but you're talking to yourself. And not a lot of people can get, well, I'm not saying not a lot of people, but many people can't get their heads around that you're actually just talking to yourself. Yes, potentially there is an audience out there, but you don't know that. You can't see an audience. It's not like I've done comparing at gigs and things like that, but you can see the audience. But in a radio studio, you're on your own in the studio with a microphone talking to yourself. That's one reason why I'm not too bad at doing that either, because I can do this. I find it very easy to do this and just to chat, as I'm sure you can tell. So as I said, I'm keeping these for myself, what I used to call like my digital memory bank, because once it's on the internet, as you know, supposedly it stays on the internet somewhere or other. And these videos, what I'm going to do when I get home, because I've been putting them on Facebook, is I'm going to condense each day into one video and then put daily videos of each day up onto my YouTube channel, which once again has been going since for 19 years, and sort of share them that way. And it's great to go back. It's like reading an old diary, because I used to keep travel diaries when I went, before this technology was available. And that's the beauty of this, is and I used to write them down. And I went with an old friend of mine to places like Sri Lanka and India and even Egypt and that in the 80s, early 80s, mid 80s. And you read back through those and it just takes you straight back to those places. And that's exactly what this is all about. I will be able to look at this, look at these videos and to go, wow. And apart from just writing, you know, unless you're a very good travel writer and you can conjure up everything that's going on, I can show you or show myself in these videos like this. So that's the reason I'm doing it. I mean, they don't get in the way. If they got in the way, I wouldn't do them. I'd stop. I just video things as I'm going along. As if you've been watching, you'll know how I'm doing it. So little things, snippets of interest or whatever, great sights, etc., etc. And then it works perfectly. Then I get back, you know, get to my destination, get to the hotel, sort the Wi-Fi out, have a look at the videos and that, and then upload them. So it's not a chore at all. But if it was to become a chore and it got in the way, then I'd stop. Because I have seen people, I watch lots of videos, YouTube videos, about, you know, the Camino Portuguese, the French route, etc., etc. And people are taking drones, they're taking loads of equipment. Apart from having to carry it, that is impinging on their journey. They're there to record it, not to experience it. I'm here to experience it, but just record it as I'm experiencing it, if that makes some sense. So that's the way it will continue. Nice. I think I'm getting warm already, actually. There is some threat of rain today, but it doesn't look too bad at the moment. So I think I'm actually going to take this top off already. So, right, on we go. Buen Camino. I'll speak to you later, no doubt. Been going about an hour and I've arrived at this place. It's called Negran. And I could see this beach actually for Baiona. So if I come round, Baiona's over there. There's that island round in there, and you can see and possibly see the fort on the end, and another lovely beach. As I'm saying, there are some gorgeous beaches, and I think I'm going around that further headland. Where are we? Yeah, that way. One little lesson actually, because I've gone off the beaten track slightly. You have to be a bit more vigilant about arrows, and they're always there, but you have to be aware. I mean, I lost one the other day because I was walking along a road and I didn't think I had to worry. I didn't, as it happened, but I was miles away, as you quite often are doing this type of thing, and I missed an arrow and I thought, oh, where's everyone gone? And I just carried on the road and met up with everybody, but I just cut off this other little headland that's behind me actually, and it took you off because I was saying the main path now has gone inland more, but it goes in through an industrial part of Vigo apparently. So I thought, I don't want to do that. I would much rather come and do this. So you just have to scan. That's what I do when I'm walking in the countryside at home. Excuse me. I'm always scanning and looking. I mean, it's like going in an airport or a railway station. I'm always scanning for the exit, the entrance, the platform number, whatever it might be. So I could almost keep going without stopping, without having to stop and look, because I notice these things. It's amazing how many people don't though. And when you're doing something like this, it's a good idea to keep your wits about you and look out for the little arrows. They'll be there somewhere, but they might be stuck to a lamppost, or someone scrawled one in a road or on a wall or something like that. So be vigilant, and you can go off the beaten track because there's always an arrow or something somewhere. And if in doubt, there's always one of the apps. but I wouldn't necessarily want to rely on them anyway. I'd rather rely on all those people that have walked here before and have left all these markers and stuff like that. So anyway, onwards. Had my breakfast, I'm going to sneeze, I think. I wandered down around that headland, and oh dear, whoa, there we go. Took my tablet and everything this morning. And this is quite a way along here actually. It's a surfing area. All the surfer dudes and dudettes are all turning up here. You see all their camper vans and that, and they're coming down to this beach in particular. But it's been like that all the way along actually. And especially in Portugal as well, because I know there's a place in Portugal down the south where they get these huge waves. Some of the biggest waves in the world, I believe. Funny enough, I just up the top there, I just seen a sign pointing towards Honolulu. So that sort of shows you that this sort of surfing culture is about. And see those islands out there in the distance as well. I've seen some bigger shipping going around that next headland, and I suspect that Vigo is somewhere past there. It won't be just around the corner, I know that already. so yeah, following the little green arrows today, plus the yellow arrows. Been through a couple of small towns, so maybe not quite so picturesque. Oh, there we go, look, see, this is one of the things you get. People just paint yellow arrows onto the wall. And you get official signs as well, but as I say, being off the official route, we haven't got the official signs. And I'm getting a few spots of rain, you know. Oh well, it is what it is, as they say. And just following the path, it's actually brought me down literally onto this beach, just a bit further along from where I was. Lovely. There's actually a guy out there trying to surf. It's not exactly the biggest waves in the world here, but very nice beach. Nice little, I'll say, detour. So see, those few raindrops seem to have disappeared. Not many clouds. It meant to rain a bit later on, but we'll see. There's a surfer dog. Oh, he's still trying. He's still waiting for the wave. I think he could be here a while. I'm on the outskirts of Vigo now, coming past Coruxo football club over there. Lots of Sunday league games, the little groups of guys playing football. People my age and older playing, still getting out there. I was saying about being active and that. Been an interesting walk, a very varied walk today actually. Going through the edges of towns, leafy lanes, down and up and down into little coves and beaches. So quite, I'd say, very varied, and it's been okay. The walking's been fine actually. I say I'm out on the outskirts of Vigo, but you know, you learn these things. You think, oh, just around that little headland, and you go around that little headland, and there's another one, and behind that there's another one. You know, that sort of stuff. So I'm under no illusions. I've probably got maybe a couple of hours more walking till I actually get into the centre. I'm just skirting around this, I'd say, all these sand dunes and that we've got here as well in Vigo. And as I said, Vigo's a big place, and I can see beaches and that coming up as well. But I know I'm in the council district because of all the signs that I'm seeing as I'm walking along. So yeah, all good. I think I might find a little cafe and have a stop and something to drink. Not beer though, because that's one thing not done actually on all these walks. I don't have a beer until I get to the end of my day's walk, and I don't have lunch until I get to the end of my day's walk. The last thing I want to do is to sit down in a nice restaurant, have a couple of beers and something nice to eat, and then have to get up and walk another 5 miles. No. I save it as a reward when I get to my end point, whatever that may be. And it's certainly well earned by that time. And I wonder how long that's going to be today. We'll see. See you later. Adios. Well, here we are, Vigo, the cathedral up there. There's a service going on at the moment, so I just sort of nipped in and got my stamp done. First time you arrive, as I suggested, you arrive in a place like Vigo, a city, and you think you're nearly far, and then you have to walk past all the port buildings, a huge port. I imagine that's why it's here in the first place. And you seem to walk, well, literally, you walk for miles, and so it takes a long time. But anyway, got here, feel pretty good actually for the long day. It was another one of those days, because it was the longest day of the walking day. I'm just wandering around the streets because the back streets, and it all goes uphill from the sea. So I'm trying to find somewhere, because being Sunday, like last Sunday, I can't remember where I was last Sunday, and so many places were shut. So not everything's open, so I'm going to have to find somewhere fairly soon, I think, that can cater to my needs, should we say. Yes, it was another one of those days, because it was the longest walking distance of the entire pilgrimage. I wasn't looking forward to it, especially after the day off. And oh God, it's about 16 miles, I suppose, in the end. But no, actually, pretty good. It's a very varied walk. So an interesting walk, and good to get that one out of the way. I must say, on first sights, first impressions, don't particularly linger well here in Vigo, but I'm only here for tonight. I'm going to have something to eat, find my hotel, which I know isn't that far away, just up the hill somewhere, and then probably collapse and maybe find a bar later on for a quick drink. And that'll be about it, I think. And then tomorrow I'm off. I can't even remember the name of the place. These ladies behind me, look, they're just walking up, and he said they're all in like costume. And I said a lot of people with football shirts on. I think Celta Vigo, I think, is the main team here. I think they're at home. They must be at home. Or they're certainly playing. Anyway, there they go, the ladies in their costumes. Let them get on their way. I shall find somewhere for myself, and I shall probably speak to you tomorrow. So a pretty good day. Glad to get one out of the way. Like I said, legs feel good. See what they're like in the morning. And yes, so all good. Onwards.